Keep yourself in the loop of everything football. Listen to Alex and Jeremiah on the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast.
Hello there, I'm Jeremiah.
I am Alex, always and forever here.
Dedicated to college and NFL football. The latest football news on and off the field. NFL draft trade rumors. We've got you covered from the NFL, Big Ten, SEC, Big 12, Pac-12, ACC, and everything else in between. Listen to the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast.
Thank you for tuning in to the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast, where we talk the latest news, rumors, and games in the NFL and college football from the latest sites, this year's breakout stars, and all the news in between. As always, I'm Alex.
And I'm Jeremiah.
What's up, man?
What's up? You literally almost forgot the intro.
No, it was a dramatic pause.
Okay. I don't know. You're always so dramatic.
Thanks.
In the beginning of the show. Like, you just have the
I just have
dramatic
I have the world on the tip of my fingers.
pause.
You know what dramatic pauses do, right?
What do they do?
They set up. You ready?
Yes.
See, the suspense. Look at you. You can't even handle it.
Yes.
They set up suspense. That's why, man. They set up suspense. You couldn't even handle it. You were so ready for it.
I can't. All right. We're just
boom. You're just on the verge.
Oh, gosh.
Told you.
Man.
That's what happens, man. That's what happens.
All right, well, anyways.
Let's get into today's
Let's
news.
Let's get into the show, right?
Yeah, not necessarily news.
This is our last actual preview.
Yeah, this is our last preview show because the NFL starts tomorrow.
Yes.
Man, I am so excited. How excited are you on a scale of 1 to 10?
15.
Dude, that's low. No, I'm just kidding. I'm pretty psyched. Football, last year I was probably a little bit more psyched because obviously the first game of the year was the Steelers. But obviously I'm equally as excited for Monday night when the Steelers play the Redskins. But I am excited for tomorrow. I'm really excited for tomorrow. As a matter of fact, I want to watch the Super Bowl rematch because it is so like the Panthers are almost exactly the same, but they've gotten better. They've gotten some pieces.
But the Broncos are so different.
The Broncos are so different.
Yeah.
You have no quarterback that was even starting a game last year. You have Simeon. He was at least he was on the roster. You have some rookie running backs. They released Hillman, so the running back core looks different. Offensive line's a little tweaked. The defense is pretty similar. They let some bigger pieces leave in the offseason. Malik Jackson left, some of the linebackers and so on and so forth. But the core of that defense is still there, and that's what's important for them.
The receiving core still intact.
Receiving core pretty much still intact, yeah. They have another new Virgil Green's still there, tight end-wise, but
Virgil Green. He's actually from where I grew up at. Actually, mm-hmm. He grew up in Tulare, California, which is like 20 miles. away.
Okay, that's
20
cool.
minutes away from my hometown. 20 minutes away from my hometown.
That's
Hamburg.
cool.
Yeah,
I would say, but I mean, Virgil Green, he's still there. But Julius Thomas gone a couple of years ago. You had Owen Daniels gone. You had they don't have. He's on the Falcons now. I can't think of his name. He was with Peyton and with Colts though.
Oh, you're talking about Jacob Tammey.
Thank you. Yeah, Tammy's gone. So it's some of the offense is different, but the receiving core is still intact, and the main defensive core of that unit is still intact, and that's what's big for this team. And then obviously you have the Panthers, but we're not talking about them today.
No, we talked about them a while, 2 weeks ago.
We're talking the East.
Yeah, we're talking to the other coast.
Yeah, we're talking. Well, the Panthers are near there, but we're talking.
They're
East.
more in the South than the East.
Well, you know what I mean. They're not on our side of the country.
Yeah,
but we're talking East, and that's AFC and NFC. So obviously, we're going to talk about the Patriots. We're going to talk about the Dolphins. We're going to talk about the Bills. We're going to talk about the Jets, and then we're going to move into the NFC East after our first break. Take our second break after that, and then we're going to discuss who we see winning those two divisions. Obviously, the way we're laid out.
Yes.
You might get to there before we do, but either way, it's going to happen. So let's get into it, Jeremiah. We're going to start with the AFC East, a division that is usually won by the Patriots, and that was no different last year. The Patriots were 12-4 last year in their division. This year is a little bit different, though. For the first time since 2009, 2008, that season that Tom Brady went down.
Yeah, the one that got hurt, yeah.
Yeah, somebody is starting at quarterback for the Patriots.
And that quarterback,
Tom Brady.
And then that quarterback was Matt Castle, and he got paid right after that year.
He had a good year. They won 10 games.
Yeah.
They made the playoffs.
Yeah.
Won 10 games. They didn't win the division. That was the year the Dolphins won the division after winning one game the year prior. But they won 10 games. They went to the anyway. He got paid by the Chiefs. Now he's on the Titans. What I mean? He's been a lot of places, but that was his start. Can the same be said about Jimmy Garoppolo? Jimmy Garoppolo is starting his young career, his third year in the league now, on the Patriots staff. He's going to be starting the first 4 games this year. He had a pretty solid preseason. There were some ups and some downs, but he looked good. It was winning game football is what it looked like. He didn't make a lot of mistakes. He's got some room for improvement, but for all we know, that can happen. It's not going to be easy, though, their first 4 weeks. They start against the Cardinals on Sunday. They have the Sunday night game.
Yes, they do.
That's going to be a tough game for them against the reigning NFC West champions. And
this game could potentially be a Super Bowl preview?
It could be, depending on how they take this 4-game suspension of Brady. But yes, they are facing a team that was, a game away from the Super Bowl last year. Then they face the Dolphins, who you would expect, say Brady was winning, this would be a win for them. But again, we don't know how Garoppolo is going to fare, and it is a division game. So interesting to see how that'll shape out. And then we have the Texans, who looked better going into the year. We talked about them on our AFC South show. And then another division game with the Bills, and the Bills are going to be a tough game, tough team, because it's always, Rex Ryan's goal to always beat Tom Brady. And then we have Week 5, the return of Tom Brady to verse the Browns in Cleveland, and that is really when this team can take full flight. We'll have to see how the first 4 games go.
Yeah, they're probably going to go, the least likely scenario will probably be 2-2.
I said the least likely scenario would be 0-4. I said at least win a game.
Well, they're probably going to win a game.
I would say I feel like they can win 3 games. I feel like they can win 3 games, but it's really going to depend on Garoppolo. This is going to run through him.
I honestly think they're going to lose that first game against Arizona.
I do too.
Arizona is probably the most balanced team in the league.
Yeah, I can see that.
Plus the Patriots aren't going to have Tom Brady there.
Yeah.
So, but I do expect it to be close. I'm not going to say it's going to be a blowout. The Patriots are going to, go toe-to-toe with the Cardinals the whole night.
Yeah.
But I could be so wrong, and we can talk about that on Monday, and we can overreact. I'm like, but anyway, we'll save that for Monday's show.
Okay.
But the Dolphins, Texans, and Bills, they can pretty much win these games. But something I want to point out is that the game against the Texans, that Thursday night game, not only is it on CBS NFL Network, it's actually on Twitter too.
Oh, it's there.
It is on Twitter. Yes, I'm excited to see games on Twitter now. Pretty soon, every game is going to be on Twitter. We're not even going to need cable or TV.
I'd rather just watch them on TV. I like to lay on my couch. I like to watch. That's what my TV's for.
Hey man, it's the way of the future. I'm telling you right now.
I get what you mean.
Okay, anyway, let's move on. I don't want to get into technology. This isn't the technology podcast. Anyways, let's get going here. But yeah, the Tom Brady's going to come back Week 5 against the Browns, which is also the game that Josh Gordon's going to come back. Yeah. I know I said that so many times, but
that's about the 3rd time you said it. It's okay.
That's about the 15th time I said it. But honestly, when Tom comes back, they should honestly go full flight or probably run away with the division again. I just don't see anybody, winning this division other than the Patriots.
Yeah, I see the only team being the Jets that can really compete with them.
Jets won 10 games.
In it all last year.
Yeah, they won 10 games last year.
Yeah, and so say the Patriots lose 4 games. Say they would have gone 12-4 like last year, right? Say they lose 4 more games. That's 8-8.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
That's a terrible season for the Patriots.
Right?
Terrible.
So, I mean, if they can capitalize on maybe at least a couple of those games that the Patriots drop, if they drop any with Tom out, and they win again the way they won last year, they could win this division. They really could. The thing is going to be, how do the Patriots fare without Brady? Because they're lucky. Brady's out for the somewhat easier stretch of their games. They come back. Brady has Browns, Bengals, Steelers, Bills, Seahawks, all back-to-back. He's got the Niners on the road. He's got the Jets on the road in the division. And then the end of the season is a little bit lighter. You have the Jets, the Rams, the Ravens, the Broncos, the Jets again, and then the Dolphins to end the year. But that middle stretch of games, the Bengals, the Steelers, the Bills, the Seahawks, those, they're lucky those aren't the 4 games that he's out.
No.
Weirdly, if that was to, they're lucky those aren't their 4 games, you know what I mean? Because they could be 0-4, So it really depends on how they do without him, and then as soon as he gets back, if he's just back into midseason form again, and that's really going to be the make or break for them this year. I would say, I remember from taking from firsthand from a guy, the Steelers fan, when Ben Roethlisberger was suspended 4 games in 2010, Steelers went 3-1, and they went from there on to be in the Super Bowl that year against the Packers. So, this can go really well for them. They can end up 3-1 like that. They can end up 2-2, or on some crazy circumstance, they can be 0-4. Maybe the first 0-4 start with the Patriots in who knows how long. So it remains to be seen. But I do have them winning the division again this year because I feel like Tom's going to come back and just handle business.
He's going to handle the business.
Yeah, he's going to handle
that
the business.
Not business, the business.
Yeah, you know what that business is? Winning football. So I have them about, maybe 11 wins this year. We'll talk about it.
11-5.
Yeah, we'll talk about it when we get to that point of the show. Let's move on to the second team that finished last year, 10-6, and that is the New York Jets, as we mentioned. They do have Ryan Fitzpatrick back. I wouldn't say they could win 10 games again this year if Fitzpatrick did not come back. So they do have a little bit tougher of a schedule to start the year. They have the Bengals, who won the division last year, pretty close division in the AFC North. They have the Bills again in the division in state for the most part. Obviously, Buffalo and New York playing one another. That's gonna be a tough game. Rex Ryan playing his former team. You have the Chiefs, who only won 11 straight games last year, and then the Seahawks. So they have 4 tough games to try to capitalize on the 4 games that Brady is not playing. If they want to try to win, and if they lose, those are 4 hard games. Then they face the Steelers the following week, the Cardinals, the Ravens. They have a tough stretch to open the season. They really do. This is going to be a team that needs to rely on its defense. Its offense is good. It's not amazing. We saw what it was last year. They played well. They were 13th in passing yardage and 10th in rushing yardage throughout the year. 11th in the league in points for. Their defense really won these games, though, for them. So that's going to be a big thing, and how they pretty much try to capitalize on if the Patriots have any mistakes.
And, last season, they were pretty much in every game except for the contest against the Raiders. That was the game that Ryan Fitzpatrick got hurt and Geno Smith had to come in, and we know how that game turned out. The Raiders kind of smoked them a little bit. And so we kind of knew that Ryan Fitzpatrick, he brings stability now to the New York Jets quarterback position. Something that quarterback has been a problem for the Jets for the past, I don't know, and forever. It seems so long.
Since Sanchez left, it was an issue.
Sanchez, yeah.
Because he was somewhat stable.
Even
still.
Before Sanchez, it was horrific. Even when Champ Pennington was there, he only had a couple good years there. But then, he didn't turn out the way that, they thought he would have turned out. I'm talking about Chad Pennington.
I don't know. Sorry, there's a noise I heard.
Oh, okay.
No, yeah, Chad Pennington was a good player. I like Chad Pennington.
And then, that was when Harmon was there. That was during the time you play to win the game. It was during that time. And now he's on ESPN doing great things. But yeah, pretty much the same thing. But yeah, anyways, the Jets, for them, honestly, if they happen, I don't think it's going to happen, but
it should be tough.
If they go on, 4-0, that.
They started the year off 3-1 last year.
Yeah, if they start off really
Easy
good.
Schedule, though.
Yeah, if they start off 3-1, 4-0, maybe 2-2, then I don't know. Maybe there is a chance they can compete for the division title. I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah,
Because I just think, you can't just bet against the Patriots. You just can't.
It's hard to do until Tom Brady retires.
Until Tom Brady retires or Bill Belichick leaves.
Yeah,
and I don't see that happening anytime soon. Brady looks like he can play for 2, maybe 3 more years.
He looked like he can play for 10 years the way he's playing last year.
Yeah, he can play till 50. He still look like he'll be 30.
Yeah, but no, you're right. The Jets were in every game they lost last year for the most part. 17-24 lost to the Eagles. That's 1 touchdown. 30-23 against the Patriots. That's 1 touchdown. Other than the 34-20 loss to the Raiders. 17-22, 17-24, 17-22 again. They were in every game they played. They really were.
Yeah, they could have easily even won more games.
Yeah,
they could have easily went 13-3 and won the division.
Yeah, exactly. They could have 17-22 twice, 17-22 twice against Buffalo. Both times they lost same score. They could have won one of those games, if not both those games. And now, obviously, I'm happy Buffalo won the last week because that let the Steelers in the playoffs. But, they could have won that game also. And that they could be 2 games. They could have been 12-4 also. So it's just the way the penny falls, man.
Hey, the penny falls. All right. Okay.
Let's move to the Bills.
Yes, let's do that.
Okay, so Buffalo is a team. They're an interesting team. They won 8-8 last year. Again, another team that could have won more games. They also have a rough start to their year. They have Ravens, Jets, Cardinals, Patriots in their first 4 games. That's going to be tough for them, in my opinion. That's going to be it's going to be remained to see how they really perform. They have a lot of injuries. It's going to be a hard year for them in my eyes. They lost a lot of the players they expected to come in and contribute from day one. They had a lot of close games, a lot of losses last year at the same time, 20-13 against the Patriots and 40-32 against the Patriots. They were right in both of those games, 34-31 to Jacksonville before their bye week. And Jacksonville obviously had a better year last year than people give them credit for. And that was a week that Tyrod Taylor was out and so on and so forth. But there was games they could have won last year. They were 23-20 to Philadelphia, This year it really is going to be how can they perform in the games they need to win, because they are down players,
Yeah, with suspensions, injuries, all over the place. And I honestly think if Tyrod Taylor performs any way close that he did, they have a legit shot to compete for a wild card berth.
Yeah, I
really think they do. And I remember last season before. Even I think around July or August, people were asking, or people are asking a question about who should start for the Bills. Should it be Tyrod Taylor, Matt Castle, EJ Manuel?
My dad's like, I don't know who's going to be. I was like, man, put it down in the books. I'm calling Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah, and I said, why don't you just give Tyrod Taylor a shot? You already know what you have in EJ Manuel.
We've seen Matt Castle, especially in the division.
We've seen Matt Castle already. And I think EJ Manuel was actually still on the team for some reason. I don't know why, but he's a good backup. But still, I was like, why don't you just put Tyrod in there? He can make plays with his feet. He may not be the tallest guy, but, you got a guy in Seattle. He's not the tallest guy either, but he makes plays with his arm and feet. I'm not saying Tyrod Taylor is the next Russell Wilson, but if you think about it, he's kind of like a poor man's Russell Wilson in a way.
In a sense, I've heard him described as that before.
Yeah.
No, I think I agree with you. If he plays at the level that they played last year and the defense played well last year, then they can win some games.
Yeah, and Sammy Watkins has to stay healthy.
Yes.
LaShawn McCoy has to stay healthy.
Yes. Tyrod Taylor has to stay healthy.
Yeah, exactly. This pretty much the main nucleus of the offense. The big three, I like to call them, Tyrod Taylor, LaShawn McCoy, and Sammy Watkins. If those 3 stay healthy for the majority of the season, they can compete against the majority of teams. And all it is, they need it. If they win games that they're supposed to win, or if they learn how to win games close late, I think they can be really good this year.
Yeah, the big thing for them is they have their bye week 10. So like I said, they have those 4 games to start, and then they have a little bit of a reprieve there in the Rams and the Niners back to back. Then they play Miami, but then they end their 8-9 week games before the bye week with New England at New England. At home against New England, and then at Seattle in Century League, which is hard for anybody.
Yeah.
The second half isn't any easier. They have Cincinnati right back from the start. They have Jacksonville, who they lost to last year, where they have a much improved Oakland teams. They have the Steelers week 14. They have the Browns, who remain to be seen how they will play, and then they end the year with 2 division games with Miami and at New York. So this is a tough schedule for a Bills team that has a lot of turnover following last year. And that is really going to be the biggest thing for them, in my opinion.
Yeah, it really is. And I honestly, offense is probably the biggest. Probably they have to perform the best out of any group in this team. Because the defense, they lost a lot of pieces.
You could say that.
Yeah, well, to injury, and suspensions and all that. But
yeah, a lot of turnover from last year. So I see them finishing about where they were last year too. About 8-8. It's gonna be hard because the division's good. The top 2 teams in the division both won double-digit amount of games last year. So it's gonna be tough for them, man.
Yeah, Yes, it is. It is. Sure is.
All right, let's move to our last team in the division. That's the Miami Dolphins, who went 6-10. For a record of 6-10, they were definitely a team that looked a lot better than 6-10. You know, they had a lot of close games again, losing 23-20 in Week 2 to Jacksonville. They lost. I mean, I wouldn't say the New England game was 36-7. That wasn't close at all. But losing 24-14 to Dallas. They were in a close game against Baltimore. They won 15-13, but they lost 18-12 in the Week 16 against the Colts. So there's a lot of games they could have won last year, and a lot of games they kind of got rolled in. They lost to Buffalo 41-14 in Week 3. 41-14, and then they went 36-7, like I said, against the Patriots in Week 8. In Week 9, they lost 33-17 to Buffalo again. Buffalo swept them last year. So this is a team that needs to win, and they need to win division games especially. They lost almost all their division games last year. They start the year off just as tough as a lot of teams in this division. Seattle Week 1 in CenturyLink. New England Week 2.
That's a tough start for anyone.
New England Week 2 in Foxborough. The only bit they get in terms of a little bit of a reprieve there is no Tom Brady.
So pretty much they can easily start 0-2.
Exactly. And then they have Cleveland and Cincinnati. Again, I don't know the type of team Cleveland will be, but you figure Cincinnati will be around what they were last year, And they finish off the 3 games before their bye week: Tennessee, Pittsburgh, and Buffalo, all home.
That Week 2 game against New England, that is a huge game because you have a chance. You have a chance to not play against Tom Brady. You have a chance. You have a chance to win a game without probably the best quarterback of the past decade, most arguably.
Arguably, people think he's the best ever.
Or maybe the best ever. That's a different topic for a different day. But that, honestly, though, for this team, that second game is important because I don't think they're going to go in Central League Field and beat Seattle. That's tough for any team. That's even tough for the Patriots to do. So the one thing that I have to say about the Miami Dolphins is that consistency is the key for this team because, they compete well, but they also get blown out by so many teams.
Yeah, and the big thing for them, like I said, is the division. They were 1-5 in the division last year. These are games you need to win.
Yeah,
and obviously not everybody can win them. If the Jets need to win it and they're playing the Dolphins and the Dolphins need to win it, only one team is going to.
Yeah, and they're 6-10. 6-10, 1-5 record. If you happen to win even half those games 3-3.
Yeah.
That is 8-8.
Oh, if they average that, yeah, 8-8, yeah, roughly.
And that's a good year for Dolphins, and I really
it's 2 more than they won last year.
Yeah, and I really do think the key is for Ryan Tannehill to play well.
Keep playing he started playing at the end of the year.
Is he going to improve and finally turn into the franchise quarterback they thought they were getting?
Mm-hmm.
Is he going to be that guy?
He needs to limit his mistakes. He needs to play the way that they drafted him to play. I mean, he's shown flashes, but he hasn't been consistent.
Going to their offense, another question mark is the running back position.
Yeah, they have Arian Foster.
Arian Foster's a starter now.
And Jay Ajayi.
And Jay Ajayi was presumptively supposed to be their starter.
They'll still run by committee, I think. With no offense, Aaron Foster's a little older. I think they'll still run by committee.
No, I think they will because I don't think they're going to run Arian Foster 25 times a game like they did in Houston.
Yeah, that's why he got hurt so often is because they ran him so often. But I know I agree with you. I think that's a big part for them too.
Yeah,
they got to step
the running game is key for Ryan Tannehill.
It's the type of offense they run. They got to run it because they got to run the play action.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, it remains to be seen. It's a team that I'm excited to watch, though.
Yeah,
I like watching Ryan Tannehill. I like Tannehill.
Yeah, I liked him since Texas A&M.
Yeah, I liked him as a receiver.
Yeah.
All right, let's take our first break. We'll take it. We'll come back. We'll do NFCs. Yeah, NFC.
NFC East. Yes.
Thank you. And then we'll get out of here.
Oh yes, let's do it.
Okay, so we'll be right back. And if you guys miss us, you can just count the seconds until we're back. Sound good, Jeremiah?
No.
Okay. I thought you were doing a dramatic pause. Okay, so we'll be right back here at the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast. Do not go anywhere. Jeremiah cries when you do that. So, be right back.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Welcome back to the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast, and you are tuning in to our AFC NFC East preview show. And we just actually, Alex and I, just discussed the AFC East, and we're going to discuss later who we think is going to finish on top of that division, maybe second or third or fourth place in the division. But anyway, we're going to move on to the NFC side of the East, which was won by the Washington Redskins last year with the record of 9-7 behind
Fireburner 9-7
behind Kirk Cousins.
You like that?
You like that?
Yeah, you like that.
You like that? Okay.
Man, that
was good, huh?
You got some gruff to that.
You like that?
Excuse me, man. Oh man.
I'm sorry that I
You have your coffee this morning?
Oh, I had one before the show. Yeah, of course, dude. Of course, I have coffee.
That's true. You always have coffee.
I have to, man, dude. I didn't have coffee literally on Monday when we didn't have to be here, and I felt terrible the rest of the entire day. Man, I felt tired.
You're on a bender there. You needed you were starting to withdraw.
I know, man. It's like, dang. Hey, all right. Well, anyway, moving on. Besides my caffeine withdrawal.
Yeah. Let's talk
about the NFC East here. Well, Washington. We're gonna start off with them because they won. Yeah. But yeah, has Washington finally figure out the quarterback position? Have they finally got the guy that can be there for about?
Like it.
Have they finally got the guy that can be there for like 10 plus years? Is Kirk Cousins the guy?
We'll have to see. I mean, he had a good year last year. You know, they have a tough start to their schedule, too. You know, you have two division games back-to-back in week 2 and 3. You start against Steelers, like I said earlier, Monday night. Can't wait. You got the Cowboys week 2. Dak Prescott all day. You got Eli Manning and the Giants at home, though, in Washington. And then you have the Browns. So 2 tough games, 2 games you could win. You know, who knows how those are going to shape out. It's a tough schedule for them this year, though. They do face the NFC North. They have the Bengals also. They have the Packers. They have the Vikings. They face the NFC North also. So AFC and NFC Norths. They also face, the Cardinals, the NFC defending champion Panthers, and they end the year against the Bears and the Giants. But the big thing for me is they face a lot of teams that can, kind of hand them this year. They face the Steelers, who, they play up and down sometimes. But depending on their record last year, they could beat them. They play the Cowboys, who could beat them because this is a interconference game. The Ravens look to be a lot better this year. Who knows how the Eagles are going to look? The Lions, but they face the Bengals. They face the Vikings, who could be full Sam Bradford by that point. You got the Packers. You got the Cowboys again. You got the Cardinals.
Yeah, Sam Bradford's going to throw it all over the field by that point.
I'm calling it. Sam Bradford, 696 yards passing.
18
touchdowns.
What are you talking about for the season?
I'll let you decide. But anyways, this team is going to have to run through the quarterback position. But the biggest thing, it's a fun little stat I like to look at. I don't have the numbers memorized, but you had the first, I think it was 4 games or whatever it was, without Jordan Reed on the field. Right? Kirk Cousins threw more interceptions than touchdowns. His quarterback rating was like 30%. His yardage was down. With the addition of Jordan Reed back in the offense, he was like 10-plus differential on touchdowns to interceptions. Way more yards. His QB rating was up to 90. It shows what he can do with him on the field. So if he can stay healthy and Jordan Reed can stay healthy.
Oh, okay. Both of them. Yeah.
This is a team to be reckoned with. You have Matt Jones still in the running back position.
They still got Deshaun Jackson,
They still have Deshaun Jackson. They still have Pierre Garçon.
And not only they have additions on their offense, but the defense, they got Josh Norman.
They sure do. And they still have Ryan Kerrigan, who's a good young outside player, rusher kind of deal there. Still, I don't know how, but I'm pretty sure London Fletcher's still playing. I don't know how, Jeremiah.
You don't know how he's still playing?
The dude's 80 years old. Like, if London, I'm going to make sure real quick that London Fletcher's still playing. If he's still playing, that man must have sold his soul when he was like 20 years old and like, let me play.
Is he part of the Illuminati or what?
Okay, no, he finally retired.
Oh, okay.
I was going to say, because he's 41. I don't know exactly when he retired.
He was in the league for a while.
Yeah, I think I might have been confusing myself because he's playing with. I saw him on Madden the other day, but okay, he retired a couple years ago. Man, I was just throwing myself off. Man, anyways, I was say because he's 41.
I was
There's no linebacker position there.
I'm like, did he? I'm like, is he part of the Illuminati or what? Anyway,
he must have been.
Okay.
But no, yeah, they got Josh Doxson in the first round, to help this offense. We're gonna have to see how they play, man. They still have Silas Redd on the backfield. Like I said, they have Matt Jones. They have Jamison Crowder, the rookie Doxson, like I was saying, on TCU. Still have Pierre Garçon. They have Ryan Grant, who improved and showed some stuff last year. They got Vernon Davis, who I know you're familiar with.
And he is the backup.
He's the backup.
And then I actually like their tight end group because they got Jordan Reed, who is the guy. Vernon Davis, who used to be the guy. He's not the guy anymore.
Niles Paul, who sort of was the guy.
He sort of was the guy at one time, dude. That's an actually solid core of tight ends. They can, if they find a way to put two of them on the same field.
I'm sure they will.
Which I'm pretty sure they will do. I like what I'm seeing. Mm-hmm. The offense looks good on paper.
Yeah,
but games aren't played on paper.
No, it's the same thing with the defense. They really upgraded their defensive line. They have Chris Baker still playing there. They went and got Ziggy Hood, who was a longtime Pittsburgh Steeler. He played for the Jaguars a couple of years. Who apparently is the starter going into the season, above some guys like Chris Baker. They have former Niner Ricky Jean Francois, who I'm sure you're familiar with. Trent Murphy's still hanging around there, and Kendall Reyes had a pretty good year there. In his 5th year out of Connecticut. But the linebackers, Terrence Garvin, another former Steeler. They have Ryan Kerrigan, like I said, who's playing pretty well there for that team, in my opinion. And then, like you said, they went and got Josh Norman to add alongside Brashad Breeland, who played well last year.
Yeah, he was the number one corner. Mm-hmm. And him being he's the number 2 corner now.
That's pretty good.
That is good number 2 corner. Probably the best number 2 corner in the league.
And then you add Greg Toller, former Colt, who at a time had to be this. He was the second, corner offset of Vontae Davis. Sorry, speaking of Davis, Vernon Davis. And then you go and draft Kendall Fuller, one of the young Fuller brothers from Virginia Tech. Seemed like all of them played there. That's not a bad secondary. And then, of course, you still have Sua Cravens, who you drafted to play that hybrid safety linebacker role. You still have D'Angelo Williams. You have Duke Iheanacho, who's going to play safety as well. And you have Will Blackman, who has been around the league playing safety. So this defense, this is really what helped win them a lot of games last year, in my eyes. This defense really helped them win 9 games.
They won games late in the game when they were supposed to win. And then they won the games that they were supposed to win.
Yeah, they did. They won games that they needed to win, and they won games that they won some games they weren't expected to win, and that's how you really do well in the NFL. You win games you're not necessarily expected to win.
And one thing I want to point out about Kirk Cousins is he set the franchise all-time passing yards mark last season.
He did,
which is
pretty good. There's Sonny Jurgensen, Joe Theismann.
There's been some pretty good quarterbacks in that franchise.
Williams,
yes.
Donovan McNabb.
For 1 year.
I'm sorry, I couldn't.
Oh, what, RG3? You gonna throw him in there now?
I couldn't finish. Well, he had a really good rookie year.
He did.
You can't knock that.
You can't knock that out.
All right, but let's move to the Philadelphia Eagles, and that is going to be the second team finishing the division last year. They won a whopping 7 games. This is a division.
Whopping.
This is a division again.
And Chip Kelly's last year.
Yeah, this is a division again that had multiple teams that did not finish above 500. The division winner barely one game higher than 500.
This is how the division is every year, though. I don't remember.
It's
been a while. Mm-hmm. I don't remember a time that the division winner won more than 10 games, which I think was the Cowboys like a couple of years ago. But other than that,
yeah, it's always a subpar year.
Yeah.
But they go into this year, they have a fresh slate. Doug Peterson's now the head coach. You have Sam Bradford starting games for you. No, you don't.
No.
You traded him to the Minnesota Vikings.
But you're starting Carson Wentz.
You are starting Carson Wentz apparently
Yes.
week 1 against the Browns. I could find a worse team to start your first NFL game against, it would be hard to find, The Browns maybe good, get your confidence up if you can, because you follow that with the Bears, the Bears, the Steelers, the Lions, and your first division game against the Redskins. And then, oh man, am I looking forward to week 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, week 6. They're playing at home against Sam Bradford-led Vikings.
That's week 7.
7, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, is there a bye week in between those?
Yeah.
I'm looking at just their breakdown of just days. Man, am I looking forward to that.
So
Sam Bradford's going to throw for 600 yards.
Honestly, Sam Bradford throwing for 6, I don't see that happening. I mean, they're going to – because Adrian Peterson's probably going to be –
He's going to run for 600 yards.
And Sam Bradford's going to have 0 passing yards because they never threw a pass.
Adrian Peterson's going to throw for 400 yards. But, Carson Wentz is going to be the guy. He's going to start the year off. This defense is still in flux. They needed to add some defensive playmakers, and that's going to be a tricky thing for them in this upcoming season. They still have Connor Barwin. They still have Vin Curry. They still have the Mr. Moneybags, Fletcher Cox. Don't forget Fletcher Cox. He obviously is still Mr. Money. You still have Michael Kendrick, so you have young players that can produce, but this defense as a whole hasn't quite shown that they can be a top unit.
They were one of the worst defenses in the league last year.
Yeah, you still have Malcolm Jenkins on the back end. You have the Nolan Carroll III, Leos McKelvin, young player Jalen Mills from LSU that was drafted to help the secondary. You have another rookie,
and then they actually traded Eric Rowe to the Patriots.
Yeah, they just traded him. Yesterday.
Him. Yeah, and they became official this morning.
And they got a lineman for him.
Yes.
So, you still have good players on offense. You still have the tight end duo of Ertz and Selleck, one of which my man over here just drafted to his fantasy team. You have Carson Wentz obviously leading the offense with Ryan Matthews as the presumed starting running back. Darren Sproles doing the role he's always performed in his career. You have Nelson Aguilar in his second season out of USC. You have Dorial Green-Beckham, your new red zone target. You have Josh Huff. You have Jordan Matthews, a receiving core that lacks big names, but they only have 4 on their roster right now.
Whenever Jordan Matthews is fully healthy, I'm actually expecting a really.
He's a good player.
I'm expecting a breakout year for him. From he improved last season from his rookie year, and we've seen it. And looking at all the receivers, they only have 4 or 5. He's the number one guy.
4 on the roster.
He's the number one guy. Mm-hmm. He's the number one guy. He. And I do think he's going to be a reliable target for Carson Wentz, especially. Well, I don't know about week 1 because I don't know if he's going to be fully healthy for the first game. But, as the season goes on and on, I expect him and Zach Ertz to be reliable targets for Carson Wentz, and that's huge for a rookie quarterback.
Young quarterback needs a good receiver and a really good tight end.
And those are 2 really good safety blankets, And then they got Ryan Matthews at running back, who I don't think he's
not a world beater, but he's
not.
Good.
But he's reliable.
He was the best fit for that scheme, weirdly enough.
Yeah, but then DeMarco Murray couldn't even ran behind this.
It's because he had to run side to side. He's more of a vertical guy.
That's okay. He's in a better place now with Tennessee.
Would he die?
I knew you were gonna say that too.
Better place.
But anyways, and you also still got Darren Sproles, which I still think is a reliable pass-catching.
I'll tell you what,
running back for Wentz.
I love playing with the Eagles on Madden.
Because of Darren Sproles,
and I like Wentz too. He's fun to play with.
Is he?
Yeah, he's a fun.
How's his speed?
It's like 80.
Oh,
that's
79. That's pretty good.
It's something like that.
That's pretty good because I love. I only play Madden with mobile quarterbacks. I have to move because when I
need guys that can throw because I'm more of a thrower.
No. I'm more of a guy that scrambles with the quarterback because usually every time I play online, every time someone tries to pass rush me, I want to get away and just sling it.
See, I used to be like that, but I've gotten better at stepping up and running up through the line.
I just don't
See,
like
I play
it.
with the Steelers. I'm good with that because Ben's probably one of the best on the run quarterback accuracy guys in the game, and he's not going to, I can trick you if I use like the Eagles playbook. You ain't expecting me to run quarterback reads, but I will, and I'll slide down before you even touch me,
I think I remember I was playing with the Kansas City Chiefs with Alex Smith, and
He's a deceiver.
And I did it with the I forgot which playbook I used, but I did a quarterback option, and I ran for like 40 yards with Alex Smith, and I was like, I told my brother, Alex Smith is a damn fool, running for 40 yards on one play. I was like, okay, but yeah, anyways,
It's like that. It's like the NFC game against the Saints, the playoff game. He ran that hook left for like 30.
And I was like, Alex Smith's a damn fool.
Well,
that was a great game. That's still one of the best NFL games of my time.
It was pretty impressive to watch. I liked it.
I'm not just saying that because I'm a Niner fan, but
no, I liked it too.
It was pretty good.
I don't like the Niners at all.
But anyways, let's move on to the
Giants.
Let's move on to the Giants.
So the Giants finished with a whopping 6 wins last year, 6-10. Still not the worst in the division. 6-10. They had a rough year last year. The defense was not very good still, but they keep adding to the secondary. First-round pick Eli Apple out of Ohio State goes with early second-round pick from last year, Landon Collins at the safety position. They added Sterling Shepard, another fantasy pick of my man over here, to the receiving core.
Oh, who's your man? Who's your boy? Oh, okay.
Added Darian Thompson in the safety spot again to add more to this defense, but there's still a lot of questions to be asked. Eli Manning's coming into his 13th year in the league. Excuse me. You have Rashad Jennings still. Excuse me. You released some notable backup guys. You released Andre Williams this week, but you have Will Johnson, who used to be a Steeler. He's kind of a good H-back, kind of a hybrid fullback guy. You have Odell Beckham Jr., arguably one of the best receivers in the league. You have Victor Cruz, hopefully coming back to be beneficial to this team. Dwayne Harris, we all know him, used to be with a few different teams. Roger Lewis, another kind of smaller name there at the position. But then you have Sterling Shepard, who is a rookie. Roger Lewis, Sterling Shepard, both rookies in the wide receiving core. You have Larry Donnell. Not Donnell. I always forget how to say his name.
I think it's Donnell.
I think it's Donnell, yeah. I whenever I hear it a bunch of different ways. You have him coming back to the tight end position. Not an amazing tight end, but he can do things for you in the passing game. And then you look to the defense. You have still have Jason Pierre-Paul. You did have your prized free agent signing Olivier Vernon to add to your defensive line there. But the secondary is the biggest problem for them. They got
Eli
Apple now.
They got Janoris
Jenkins,
yes.
Leon Hall, Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie. Still, this is a team that you want to see look more improved because they've put a lot into their defense and their secondary.
And they also put more into their offense. Sterling
especially
Shepard,
their offensive line the last few years too.
Sterling Shepard is listed as the number 2 starter heading to this Sunday's game against the Cowboys, which we'll get into in a minute. And, even if Victor Cruz stays healthy, I'm expecting great things from Sterling Shepard because this is going to be a pass-heavy offense. They're going to have, for some reason, they just can't run the ball. It might be because of the talent they have or just the scheme, but they just can't run the ball. But luckily for them, they got Eli Manning who can, probably sling it for, 40 or 50 passes a game.
Yeah, Eli is people don't give him enough credit.
Honestly, though, I
he's really kept them relevant.
Honestly, though, Eli Manning is probably one of the most underrated quarterbacks probably in his generation.
Easily. I mean, you have to look at the quarterbacks he came in
with. And look at his 2 Super Bowl wins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
no one gives him credit for that.
Yeah, I mean, you have to look at the quarterbacks he came in with. He came with Phillip Rivers and Roethlisberger, right? You got to look at his brother and his dad. You got to look at the time he played.
And look at Brady. Look at the other quarterbacks in this division, like Tony Romo, who's also an underrated quarterback.
Yeah,
even though he gets hurt a lot, and people give him negative criticism, but he's still good. But nobody gives Eli Manning credit, and he's heading to his 13th year.
You have literally the one quarterback that piloted the only team and only opposing quarterback to ever beat Tom Brady in a Super Bowl.
Exactly.
Tom Brady, arguably the best quarterback ever. He did it twice. He did it the exact same way.
Yeah.
He won the MVP twice. I mean, people don't give him enough credit, and he's really been the only thing that keep this team relevant in their time since their last Super Bowl win, people don't give the Giants credit, and it's because they win 6 games every few years.
I think,
but
honestly, though,
he keeps them in there,
yeah, because just say if Eli Manning gets hurt, God forbid that doesn't happen, because I don't like.
God forbid that doesn't happen.
Well, yeah, I don't like seeing players get hurt.
God forbid that happens.
What, they doesn't get hurt?
God forbid that doesn't happen means you want it to happen.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, well,
So
hopefully.
you're sorry to Eli.
Sorry, Eli. But
Okay.
Eli Manning, that is, not Eli Apple.
Or Eli Rogers.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Eli Ross.
What's to say happen to Eli Manning? He gets hurt, right?
Mm-hmm.
You put Ryan Nasty there. You see what kind of offense this team's going to be.
Let's see what kind of offense Ryan Nassib runs.
Exactly. Let's see what kind of offense that is. See?
Not amazing.
And you're going to find out how important Eli Manning was to this team for the past, 10 years. So
13.
Well, he didn't. I don't think he started his. Well, he did start his.
He
first
did.
Year.
He had arguably the worst rookie passing season ever.
Honestly, yeah. People really. Oh, I think honestly, Alex Smith had the worst rookie season for a quarterback.
Well, Eli has the record for interceptions as a rookie. Let me put it that way.
Yeah. Okay, that's true.
He had a pretty rough year.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. We'll get in. I mean, I see them having more than 6 wins. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
I can see them going 8-8 this year. Mm-hmm. And in this division, who knows, that might win.
You never know. You never know who 8 to.
I'm saying 8-8 might win you the division.
You never know. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if 7-9 wins the division, which I don't think is going to happen because all 4 of these teams are too talented.
Yeah.
They're too talented to win less than 8 games, but you never know. It's a hard division to figure out. But anyways,
let's move on to the worst team in the division.
Exactly.
4-12, Dallas Cowboys couldn't win 1 game without Tony Romo. Couldn't win 1.
And you know how we were talking about Eli Manning, how important he was to the Giants.
Same
Tony
thing with
Romo
Romo.
was important to the Cowboys last season, or perhaps
most of his career. But this year is different. This year, they finally look like they have a backup quarterback.
Finally.
And Dak Prescott from Mississippi State, rookie 4th rounder, he's going to be starting for the foreseeable future because Romo is out up to 6 to 10 weeks. So we don't know when he's going to be back.
We don't know. He might not even come back. That's the thing. It's a back injury.
He could get hit one time, and
that's like his third back injury, like in 5 years. Also, so and he's 36 years old, so he's not getting any younger.
Don't forget
what?
He's got Mark Sanchez too. Boom,
as a backup quarterback.
Yeah, and then I forget I think they released the other kid, the young one.
Yeah, I think they did too because
Morris or something.
Because they wanted. Oh yeah, Stephen Morris. I think it's because they wanted.
Stephen Morris is on the Colts.
Oh, okay.
This kid was a rookie. I forget his name.
Yeah. Okay, but. Tony Romo is still on the active roster because, according to Jerry Jones, no one's going to have to take that spot.
Just in your face, guys that got released.
Well, he's not going to play. Why can't you just put him on the short injury reserve list, Jerry?
Jerry. Well, with the addition of Dak Prescott starting, you have rookie first-rounder Ezekiel Elliott starting in the running back position. You obviously still have Alfred Morris, who's looked really good in this preseason.
Yeah, he has. He looks really good for the backup running back.
For the role, yeah, he's
for the role that he has.
Hey,
he's pretty good.
He's been a starter, man.
Yeah, he's been a starter.
And you have McFadden coming back at some point, I think.
Yeah, at some point. Yeah. You still got Lance Dunbar too, who was heavily involved in the passing game.
And then obviously, don't forget you have top 3 receiver in a lot of people's opinion, Des Bryant, who had a really good preseason. He looked like he had rapport from day 1 with Dak Prescott. You have Bryce Butler, who formed with the Raiders. He's played well. Lucky Whitehead, who always seems to be getting targets. You have Terrence Williams. Don't forget San Diego State gigantic tight end Gavin Escobar is entering his 4th year, sitting at 6'6". Man is huge. You still have Jason Witten, who is just the ageless wonder, entering his 14th year. And then you have arguably the best offensive line in football. Travis Frederick sitting at the center position. You have both your guards, Ronald Leary and Zach Martin, coming into their 4th year together. Lael Collins coming in. You have some rookies. Tyron Smith in his 6th year out of USC. You have Doug Free, who's coming into his 10th year, the ageless wonder. Man, they have a good offensive line.
And on their defensive side,
now that's the problem.
That is the problem. Don't get me wrong. They still have good players on this team, like Sean Lee.
Yeah, Sean
If
Lee's
he
good.
stays healthy, very great player. Alonzo Skandrick. Skandrick.
Yes, sir.
He makes plays when he needs to
in the backfield.
in the secondary.
Yeah. Secondary, thank you. That's what I meant.
I was like, backfield.
You have a second-year player, Byron Jones, who, if those who don't remember, he was the one that set the combine records in broad and vertical jump. Just an athletic freak. You have J.J. Wilcox at your safety position. Barry Church still at the safety position, who is not an amazing player, but he's been there for a while. Their problem, though, is their defensive line.
Yeah.
You have Randy Gregory, suspended.
Yeah, he's actually suspended for 4 games now.
Yeah, you have DeMarcus Lawrence. Suspended.
Yeah.
You have, look at that, linebacker. You have Rolando McClain. No,
Nope.
Suspended.
They
for
have
10
games?
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, man.
Their defense is facing a lot of suspensions, a lot of injuries, and that's going to be the biggest question.
So,
can their defense
pretty
help
much,
win the
to
games?
put that all... Honestly, though, I think that puts a lot more pressure on Dak as a rookie in his first game.
I think it does. I think he
'Cause
needs
his
to
first
control what
game,
he can control and let the defense do their thing.
Yeah, his first game is against a division opponent, which isn't easy.
It's the Giants.
Well, it's a division opponent, which isn't easy.
I was saying it's against the Giants.
Yeah.
I was just stating a fact. I
Okay.
was like, it's against the Giants.
Oh.
No, it is against the Giants.
Yeah, which isn't easy.
Odell Beckham Jr.'s most impressive moment in his career was against the Cowboys.
Which people are still talking about to this
Josh
day.
Norman won't shut up about him. God, no one cares, Josh Norman. But no, I mean,
I don't know. Josh Norman is honestly, the fact that Josh Norman's in this division now is actually going to be pretty fun because he's going to go against Odell Beckham Jr.
Des
Bryant twice.
Sean Jackson. I mean, if that is important.
Well, Deshaun Jackson's on his team.
In practice, I'm saying.
Okay.
He's getting the reps.
If Jordan Matthews, I know he's not as he's not as one of the top guys in the league, but he's still the number one. He's still a good receiver. He's still the number one guy. He's facing him twice.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's two hard faces, and we'll see.
It's too hard. It's two elite.
Rough matchups, and
I don't know. Maybe. Okay.
Let's take our last break.
Yes.
We'll come back. We'll just real quick. We'll go winner, division.
All right, let's do it.
And we'll talk about. I mean, I'm sure you guys can kind of make out who you think we're gonna pick. It's not the Cowboys. So we'll talk about that. We'll be right back, and we will talk winners and losers in 1 minute. Not exactly. At the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast.
Do you want to be healthier, yet you just don't know what to do? All these shows telling you this and that, but nothing seems to work. Well, listen close. Golden State Media Concepts has got something great for you. The Health and Wellness Podcast dedicated to workout trends, healthy eating habits, diet, and everything about healthy living. Join us in our banters as we help you not just live life to the fullest, but live it to the healthiest.
And we're back. Like that. Okay, so guess what? We're going to talk winners. In my opinion, it's pretty cut and dry. I got the Patriots winning the division. And are you ready for this one?
Yes.
Are you ready? I got the Cowboys winning the division this
Do
year.
you really? Okay, wow. Wow, that is a shocker after you just said it's not the Cowboys before the break. Wow, that is a shock. What makes you think the Cowboys are going to win this division?
I think they're going to actually be able to win some games without
Tony Romo, which I agree with. I agree with you on that.
I think that offense is going to be good this year. I want to say Washington, I really do, and they're probably the safe pick, but I wanted to shock some people, and I want to say Dallas. I still think Washington's going to be. I think it's Washington or Dallas. But
I already made a shocker pick for the division. That was the Jacksonville.
Sure did.
That was the Jacksonville Jaguars.
You made a shocking pick by saying they win at least 13 games. Or
no,
something.
I didn't say that. I said,
whatever. Who's your winners and losers?
I said they can possibly win 10. But anyways, my winners are
You're welcome.
the New England Patriots in
Okay.
the AFC East. And I think I'm going to go. I have to go with Washington Redskins.
Knew it.
Yeah.
I knew it.
How do you know that?
That was almost my pick.
But in the AFC East, I got the Bills going second, Jets going third, and the Dolphins going fourth. Yeah.
All right, I can dig it.
And in the NFC East, I got the Cowboys second, Giants third, and the Eagles finishing last.
All right, I can dig on those.
Mm-hmm.
Man, oh man, am I excited for it to start, and that all gets started tomorrow,
Yes,
Jeremiah.
and guess what we're going to do tomorrow? We have another action-packed show. We're going to be discussing the new AP Top 25 poll with some new teams in there and some teams dropping.
And some teams on the rise.
And teams that are just plainly just got dropped out the top 25 in general. And there's some teams that got dropped out.
One of them rhymes with UCLA.
That was terrible. Wow.
I know.
It's like, might as well just say none of it rhymes with in West C. I don't know. But anyway.
I don't know what you just said. Anyways, let's get out of here.
Okay, Aaron, before we get out of here, we're also going to be talking about the Thursday night game between the Carolina Panthers and the Denver Broncos.
Super Bowl rematch.
It's happening, people. Football season is here.
We've been talking about it for months, and it's finally here.
It's finally here, people.
Okay, well, as always, up until then, if you miss us so much, Jeremiah and I will be back tomorrow for our show. But in the meantime, you can find us on our website, gsmcpodcast.com, where you can find all of the wonderful shows on our network, as well as my show, my sports show as well with Ben, who was on the show on Friday, Jeremiah and Ben's baseball show. You can also find the soccer show that Ben and I do. You can find us on YouTube at the same thing, GSMC Football Podcast, as well as on iTunes and SoundCloud at the handle GSMC_football. And you can find us on Stitcher, SoundCloud, iTunes, and Google Play at GSMC Podcast or GSMC Sports Podcast. And the Twitter and Instagram handles GSMC_football. Anything you'd like to say to the folks before we get going? I'm excited. Are you excited? I'm excited.
I'm excited.
All right, excited. Well, for me and excited over here, I'm Alex. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
And I'm Jeremiah.
Nope, you're excited.
No. Okay.
We'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
As for Jeremiah, I'm Alex. We'll see you guys tomorrow.